Well, it's the beginning of a new year, a time when many of us make resolutions to improve our lives. But how often do we resolve to improve the way we feel about our finances, right? Well, today we're going to talk about spending with confidence and a surprising challenge that many retirees face that we're going to try to work through today. Well, glad to have you back on Retirement Reality on Demand. I'm Ben George with Mike Coynan, the Principal of Preservation Services. Mike, got to set resolutions for the new year, right? And I know spending is a big part of that. If you can control spending, kind of get that budget under control, it really kind of sets you up with everything else you want to do.
Absolutely. And it seems like every New Year's resolution, and we talk about budgeting and spending, and hopefully this could be the last year you have to set a resolution on that. That means you're failing and you have to start over, which is good. I'm glad you're consistently trying to change the habits, but let's get it taken care of this year in 2025 so we don't have the issues with spending and budgeting.
Yeah. And today we're going to take a look at, a retirement spending strategy. Not so much as, hey, I got to stop picking up that $8 cup of coffee from Starbucks on the way into work every day, but more importantly, once you're in retirement and you're spending, how to kind of manage that as you kind of build that retirement plan. Mm-hmm. So I know a lot of folks have trouble spending money with confidence, Mike, and that holds them back quite a bit in retirement, especially when they first retire. Why do you think that's the case for a lot of folks when they first make the transition?
Yeah, it's uncomfortable, first of all. I mean, when you're putting all these decades of contributions into your IRAs and 401ks, and you have good income coming in, and that's meeting all your needs and then some, to stopping that cash flow, and now you go to Social Security and that doesn't meet all your needs, which means you have to take money out of your investments. It's just uncomfortable to see I'm no longer adding, 20, 30,000 a year to my 401k. Now I'm taking out 30,000 a year out of my IRAs or whatever it might be. So it definitely is uncomfortable, and it's that fear of not having enough. And no matter how much planning we do, there's always certain percentage of our clients that are still very stressed out about it because it's very uncomfortable, even though I have to give them the okay to say it's okay to spend money. It's okay to do this. It's okay to plan a retirement trip or a trip every year or multiple trips. It's still hard for certain individuals. And maybe that has to go back to maybe some trauma from growing up or seeing their grandparents struggle or their parents struggle. So there's always something that's rooted there that we don't know, but we can do our part by encouraging them that they're going to be okay.
And that lack of confidence can really hold you back as well, too, right? I mean, I'm sure you've probably seen people that have come in and say they don't want to retire when they're probably in pretty good shape, but it's just not having confidence to believe that they can take that next step.
Yeah, we see it a lot. So either I had somebody just in the office here this last couple of weeks, and I was like, so and so, did you hang up your call it quits finally, 2 months ago like we had planned? No, I'm going to work another 6 months. And it seemed like every annual review or multiple reviews we do, you keep pushing it off and keep pushing it off. Always that fear of stopping work, and it affects, and it affects your spouse, and it could affect the family members. Sometimes one spouse is just waiting for the other spouse to retire to go do the things you want to do, and time isn't a guarantee. We have no idea what your health will be and how much time we have. I don't think anybody said from their deathbed, I wish I could have worked another 6 months, another 2 years. The goal is they want to spend time with friends and family, and make sure if you have enough to retire, why would you want to postpone that?
Yeah, that's the whole question, right? I mean, you don't want to put that off if you know you can be okay and not have to work and do all these things that you'd rather not be doing, spend more time with family, friends, loved ones, whatever that is. So is it all come down to planning, Mike? I mean, when you talk about trying to help somebody have that confidence, loosen up a little bit, live their life a little more fully, right? Actually, maybe loosen those spending drawstrings a little bit. Does it all come down to planning, or is there other little things people can do to feel more comfortable?
Yeah, I think seeing it over and over again, I think it's a huge benefit for clients that have been with us for, 2 to 5 years or longer, to see that every time we do the reviews, that we're updating their numbers, and to make sure that nothing has changed. It's actually gotten better. And we've had a couple of really good years on the market too. So people are saying, oh my gosh, there's a lot more in my accounts than we plan on being in my accounts. And so I think seeing the numbers not changing and not, maybe they didn't believe in what the numbers were, but showing, the longevity of their money and what they're going to leave behind is very important. I think that's a big part is looking at the plan and seeing the confidence that the plan is not changing, is actually getting better, and believing in that. And we can only show as much as we can believe. What we also like to do in our plan is make sure that we're projecting that the average returns be lower than what they should be getting, lower than what the portfolio has been averaging. We like to put lower numbers in there. We want to put higher expenses. So we want to make things worst case scenario. And if that still works, what is a holdup? What is a holdup?
Well, on the flip side of that, I'm guessing you probably come across some people that were maybe on the other end of the spectrum and they were too confident in terms of what they could spend and how much they could spend, and
right.
weren't able to kind of pull that back. So if you come across someone like that, how do you reel them in, Mike? How do you pull them back and say, listen, whoa, you might be doing a little too much right now?
Yeah, we have a few. It always happens. And it's unfortunate because we even have those conversations stating you're taking out money very aggressively, over 10% withdrawals per year. I mean, when you figure that out, it's not hard to figure out you're going to run out of money. And some people have planned because, I'm not, my dad died at this age, my mom died at this age. So they just assume they're not going to make it past, 75. And they go, we just want to spend the money. Well, the fact is, you don't know how long you're going to live. We have no idea. And so you might live till 85, 90. Just because your parents live that age doesn't mean that's your destiny. So that's your mortality age. So we've had those conversations on multiple occasions with a few people that are just always asking for money, and acting like it's never going to run out. And it's sad. It's very unfortunate. And we've even had a few clients drain all their money out, all of it. Well, that money should have been enough for retirement, but they've taken so much money out in such big chunks that they've drained it all. It's sad that that's their mentality, and we can only do our part as advisors to give them some advice. But again, is it their money? Is it their choices? But that's probably the least percentage of clients we have. We have a very low percentage of those clients that are spending too much. It's usually the clients who have the money that are afraid to spend it is the more common deal we have with our clients.
Well, I want to close out this conversation by kind of providing a few maybe strategies or maybe some lasting ideas that somebody can have about spending in retirement, because you've seen a lot, Mike. You've worked with all kind of different personalities, people with all different levels of money and wealth and goals and whatever else. So what are a few things people can kind of take away from this video and apply to their own life to kind of help change a retiree or a pre-retiree's life?
Yeah, I think first of all is we believe in the 3-bucket strategy. You need to have amount of money that's in the market at risk, because length in the market will always do well. Time in the market will do well. It's just there's some years that won't do very well, right? We know there's ups and downs in the market, but overall, we look in the last 10 years, 20 years, the markets are positive, right? Even we have some down markets in there. You also need to have enough money in the bank. We've talked about this many times, is having that emergency fund, 3 to 6 months when you're working of your expenses, or 6 to 12 months of your expenses if you're retired. You need to have that cash money in the bank, not money that's invested in investments, safe money. And then you need to have money that's going to grow, that's meant for that's performing better than bonds. And we like to use the FIA strategies because you could be in that 5, 6, 7% returns. They're even higher today, but you want to get returns that are better than the banks, better than bonds, without risk at all. So you want to have multiple buckets to have options where to draw money from when you need to. So that's one of them. And I think automating your withdrawals per year, I think that's great. In retirement, we just give clients money, whether they want it once a month or they want it every 2 weeks. We withhold state and federal taxes to make things simple. We try to time it with Social Security. And if you have a pension, when are those pensions and Social Security coming in? We want to make sure that you have cash flow like what you had when you had a job, right? So we're putting those direct deposits into your account, and we can pick and choose which accounts those are coming from depending on where the market's at. So that's important as well. You want to have advisors looking at that as well. And then I think planning for legacy, charitable giving. I think we love talking about leaving a legacy behind. First of all, do you have an estate plan? Perfect. Get that in order. And then with all this money you have, what is your goal with it? You want to leave it to your kids? You want to leave it to your grandkids? You want to spend it as much as you can? You want to be charitable with it? So there's ways that we start developing a strategy for the kids or grandkids to make sure that this could be life-changing. And that could be life-changing while you're living. You don't have to wait till you pass on to see that, to have them enjoy this money when they're maybe in their 40s, 50s, 60s. You want to give it to them today when you can see them change their lives today. So there's a possibility of being charitable with your own family members today. And unfortunately, being charitable with your kids isn't a tax deduction like charitable with a charity. A lot of people ask, my kids are my biggest charity. It's not tax deductible, unfortunately. Sorry about that.
All right. So again, if spending is something that you kind of struggle with, or maybe you don't have the confidence you need to retire because you're worried about spending so much money, start by getting in touch with a financial professional. Principal Preservation Services can help you with that as well. You can log on to principalpreservationservices.com or call 855-987-8888. But take those steps that are necessary to give yourself confidence in retirement. Mike, thanks as always. We'll talk again soon. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And thanks for watching.
Please do. Thanks, Ben.
Investment advisory services offered through Alpha Star Capital Management, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. SEC registration does not constitute an endorsement of the firm by the Commission, nor does it indicate that the advisor has attained a particular level of skill or ability. Alpha Star, Principal Preservation Services, LLC, and Principal Wealth Services, LLC are separate and independent entities. Insurance products are offered through Principal Preservation Services, LLC, a Minnesota and Wisconsin insurance agency. Investment advice is offered through Principal Wealth Services, LLC. Any comments regarding safe and secure investments and guaranteed income streams refer only to fixed insurance products offered by Principal Preservation Services, LLC. They do not refer in any way to securities or investment advisory products. Fixed insurance and annuity product guarantees are subject to the claims paying ability of the issuing company and are not offered or guaranteed by Alpha Star.